So you have IT band syndrome, or you either have pain in your knee or your hip because of riding your bike. Let's talk about why that one happens. And then let's talk about 3 exercises you can do to help you prevent it from occurring again and heal yourself of it right now. So why does it happen when we're actually riding? There's a couple reasons. One is that we don't have the glute strength to hold ourselves still and stable, especially as we're riding downhill. Our trailing leg usually is the leg that tends to get affected with this IT band issue. One of the reasons is because as we think about our trailing leg, one, it's in a more squatted type position, even if you have a good hip hinge as you're riding downhill. And also that trailing leg the knee can drift inward some because some of us like to hold onto our bike a little bit more or we feel not quite as stable on top of our pedals on our bike as we're riding downhill. And so we tend to bring that knee in just ever so slightly. It may not be that you actually can grip that saddle with your legs, but it may mean that it drifts in just to give yourself a little bit more stability because you're using your inner thigh muscles instead of your actual glute muscles to help you. If you don't feel like you're using your glutes as you're riding downhill, ding, 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 this is a sign that this is part of your problem in it and that we need those legs to be a little bit wider as you're riding downhill or you may want to hip hinge just a little bit more to help you with activating those glutes a little bit better. The other thing that can happen is that our core isn't strong enough, so that means our glutes can't work quite as well. Our glutes are tied directly to our core, our abdominal muscles. We add in a little bit of a tail tuck, a little bit of a butt tilt. Then we are now using our core a little bit better as we're riding downhill, and we can use our glutes a little bit better, understand that hip hinge, and that will take load and pressure off of our knees and off of that IT band. When we talk about what IT band syndrome actually is, it's the use of the TFL muscle, part of your hip, that mainly pulls on your IT band, and it can give you hip issues up at the top part of your hip, or it can give you actual knee pain issues because your knee is being directed by the IT band TFL muscle, your tensor fasciae lata muscle, which is just fun to say, instead of actually being controlled as much by your glute. And that's why it's needed to have that glute work and needed to have that core work. And why the positioning of yourself on the bike, especially if you're downhill, makes so much of a difference. One of the first things is that we need to get you moving a little bit better. We need to do some foam rolling, and then we need to do some strengthening. With foam rolling, do we think that we just want to foam roll your actual IT band? Because that's what most people say to do. Wrong. We actually want to foam roll our quad and we want to foam roll our TFL. This is the muscle that works. Quad is also working a whole lot more, and that's why it gets tight and also can pull on your knee in funky ways because you're not using the rest of your muscles that are supportive of it. And so as we're thinking about using these other aspects, we need to loosen up some of the muscles that are tighter. And this allows us, as we do the foam rolling first, exercises second, for your body to understand it doesn't have to keep as much tension in these muscles. Because as we're foam rolling, we're not actually stretching. We're just neurologically telling them to relax a little bit, increasing blood flow. And then your brain can do the rest of it of telling it to turn off and not keep a tonic tension load through that muscle. How you do it for the TFL is that you find the top part of the crest of your hip here. Then you are going to find your hip bone as it sticks out on the side, part of your femur, and you're going to find where your finger comes out from that. This part right here, crest and hip bone, this right here is probably your TFL. Usually with most people, it's right there in that middle ground. As you push into it with a relaxed leg, you can probably feel yourself be like, oh, I don't know if I like that. This is right where you'll set the tennis ball, or right where you'll set a towel roll, or right where you will have the foam roller. This area is and can be pretty sensitive. And so you may want to use something that's not quite as aggressive whenever you're first starting to foam roll it or massage it. As we're foam rolling your quad, this is where we want to hit not just the front part of your quad, but we want to hit the front side part of your quad and the inside part of your quad. All of these areas are important for us to roll up and down. And we also want to hit the top part of your quad because that's where your rectus femoris sits, and that's where it's typically tight whenever we have IT bands and also for cyclists and mountain bikers in general. And so we definitely want to hit that area as well. I would say to foam roll maybe like 1 to 3 minutes total time and hitting all of those areas. One of the areas that we can work on our glute strength to help us with this trailing leg issue is standing external rotation of our leg. So our glute max does external rotation of the leg and also extension of the leg. This glute max is the one that we really want to focus on because it also attaches to the IT band, but it uses that attachment to rotate and move the leg more so and better than the actual TFL does. And so as we're working on this IT band issue, we want to strengthen our glutes, especially after we've just foam rolled our quad and just foam rolled this TFL. As we're doing this, you're going to stand most of your weight on one leg, and the other leg is going to be just toe touchdown behind you. Then you are going to bring that leg knee out to the side and back in. Leg out to the side and back in. The reason why I have you just toe touch down in the back is because I don't want your foot doing the primary movement of this, because you can't. Even try it now. You can press your foot down and that will bring your knee out to the side and down and back and relaxed. It doesn't use your glute at all. But if you think about moving at your thigh with just your toe down, then now you're actually able to use your glute for this mechanism. You'll also find if you just are relaxed and not really thinking about your core, it's a little bit harder. I want you to do a slight tail tuck for me or activate that core and then now do it. It works so much better, and now you actually have that glute helping you with that motion. Do 10 on each side, take a break, do 10 on each side. Also, you can add a band around your thighs and give this a little bit of resistance. This is a great exercise for you to do on the trail. You can do it before you are starting your downhill. This is going to wake those muscles up that you want to work. And so as you're going downhill, they'll actually work for you instead of you using those other muscles, more so your quads and more so your TFL. The last exercise in this grouping is a wide mountain climber. It's going to be a slow mountain climber, not focused on endurance. And the reason why it's wide is that we're really working on the application of flexion and extension of the hip with those glutes holding that leg and that thigh in an externally rotated position. So as you're doing it, really try to get that knee up and out and then back down, switch sides, knee up and out, back down and switch sides. Really trying to get those knees and thighs as wide as possible as you do these reps. Keep your core on, don't let your back sag down. Again, that tail tuck is such a needed thing to help your glutes fire and work for you. Do like 5 to 10 each side. These are a lot harder than what you would think they would be. If you are having other knee issues, check out this video of other stretches you can do and also this video of other strength exercises you can do for your knees. I also have a membership that has strength training programs that have these exercises built into them. Check it out down below, specifically for mountain bikers.